5 million years ago, before kings and empires, a shocking choice changed humanity forever. Not made with weapons, but with compassion. This is the untold story of Homo habilis. In a world ruled by predators, survival meant strength, speed, and ferocity. Yet among early humans, one group chose a different path. They didn't just fight to live. They fought to protect each other. Homo habilis, known as the handyman, lived in harsh African landscapes where life was brutal and short. Food was scarce, predators were everywhere, and every weakness meant certain death. But archaeologists uncovered something shocking. Fossils revealed individuals with severe injuries or deformities, yet they survived for years. How could that be possible in such a merciless prehistoric world? The answer was compassion. Unlike animals that abandoned the weak, Homo habilis cared for their injured. They carried them, shared food, and protected them. Compassion became their most powerful survival tool. Imagine an injured member unable to hunt or gather. In a world where every calorie mattered, most species would leave them behind. But Homo habilis did the unthinkable. They stayed. They built primitive shelters using branches and stones. They made crude tools to cut meat, dig roots, and break bones for marrow. These innovations weren't just survival strategies, they were acts of shared responsibility. For the first time, survival wasn't about the individual, it was about the group. And that changed everything. The weak were no longer a burden, they became proof of something greater. This act of compassion separated Homo habilis from predators. Lions killed the weak, wolves abandoned the slow, but humans, they nurtured them, a shocking reversal of nature's law. The discovery of ancient skeletons showed broken bones healed over years, injuries that no one could survive alone. It was undeniable proof that someone had cared enough to keep them alive. It wasn't just physical survival. Compassion created bonds, trust, and unity. Suddenly, humans weren't just surviving in Africa, they were thriving, because they had each other. This was the first spark of humanity. Long before art, fire, or language, compassion made us truly different. It was the invisible weapon that nature never saw coming. But why would they risk everything for the weak? Scientists believe it wasn't just kindness. It was strategy. Unity gave groups an advantage over predators and rival tribes. By helping the injured, Homo habilis built stronger groups. Each life saved meant more knowledge, more experience, and more survival chances for the whole community. Think about it, the injured taught children how to use tools, how to find food, how to avoid danger. Their survival meant wisdom passed down to the next generation. This wasn't weakness, it was strength, a strength no predator could match, a strength rooted not in muscle, but in empathy. The Homo habilis skulls showed larger brains than earlier hominins. Many scientists link this growth to social living. Caring for others required memory, planning, and problem solving. Every act of compassion rewired their brains, making them smarter, more cooperative, and more human. It was evolution driven not by violence, but by kindness. And yet, their world was still dangerous. Leopards stalked the savannas, giant eagles swooped down, and crocodiles lurked in rivers. Compassion alone couldn't save them, but it gave them an edge. Working together, they could defend the injured, share food, and alert the group to danger. Unity became the shield that predators could not break. Homo habilis wasn't the first to use tools, but they took it further. Stones sharpened into cutting edges, bones used as hammers. Survival became a team effort. When an injured member couldn't hunt, others provided food. When they couldn't walk, others supported them. This was survival rewritten, not by strength, but by solidarity. Fossils revealed children who survived despite birth defects. That meant the group carried them, fed them, and cared for them for years, a level of compassion no animal had ever shown. This compassion was shocking not just to nature, but to history, because without it, humanity might never have become what it is today. Compassion wasn't charity, it was evolution's hidden weapon. It turned fragile creatures into survivors, and survivors into ancestors of us all. Imagine the scene, a small group of Homo habilis huddled together, sharing scraps of food, protecting an injured member. In that moment, humanity was being born. Without compassion, the injured would have died, knowledge would have been lost, groups would have fractured, our story might have ended before it began. Instead, compassion gave us continuity, it carried wisdom forward, it kept the tribe strong. united, and prepared for the future. Scientists call this the social brain hypothesis, the idea that our brains grew because we needed to live together, understand each other, and care for one another. This theory explains why humans, more than any other species, became masters of cooperation. It all began with those first acts of compassion 5 million years ago. And the evidence doesn't lie. Cracked skulls healed, broken legs mended, jawbones missing teeth, yet still alive, someone fed them soft food until they recovered. Every healed bone whispers the same story: someone cared, someone stayed, someone shared. And in those simple acts, humanity was forged, not by fire, not by weapons, but by compassion. Think about today: hospitals, families, communities. All of it traces back to those first moments when Homo habilis refused to abandon the weak. Compassion created culture, culture created knowledge, knowledge created civilization. The very roots of humanity were watered with kindness. It's easy to believe survival is about strength, but history shows something different. The strongest species didn't survive, the most compassionate did. Compassion wasn't weakness, it was the foundation of dominance. And it began with Homo habilis. This shocking discovery changed everything we knew about evolution. Humanity wasn't born from violence. It was born from care. That's why Homo habilis isn't just remembered as handy man. They are remembered as the first humans to act truly human. Their compassion echoed through time, shaping Homo erectus, Neanderthals, and finally, Homo sapiens, us. Without their shocking choice, we might never have developed the empathy, cooperation, and intelligence that define us today. So the question remains, was compassion our greatest invention, greater than fire, tools, or language? Perhaps it was the very thing that made those possible. The fossils don't just tell us about bones, they tell us about love, loyalty, and sacrifice, qualities that changed the course of evolution. And 5 million years later, their story still whispers to us: compassion is not just history, it is survival. Next time you think survival means strength, remember the handy man who shocked the world with kindness. Because it wasn't claws, fangs, or muscles that defined humanity, it was compassion. And it all began with Homo habilis. If you found this story eye-opening, imagine what other secrets are buried deep in our past. Subscribe, share, and join me as we uncover more hidden truths about humanity's forgotten beginnings.